Welcome to the Orlando Dads Group podcast. This is our third episode, and my name is Nick Izzy, and I'm joined here with Floor and Nate, and we actually are very blessed to have a guest today. Our guest is Michelle Lipton. She is a local Florida author here, and she has written the book Sprinkletopia. How are you, Michelle?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you very much. So we
Yeah,
are
this is pretty exciting. Sorry, Nick.
no, go
But I
ahead.
was just pretty excited about it because this is we have our like first local person, a local person on our podcast. The other guests we've had have been kind of abroad at different states and talking about different things. And I was particularly excited to bring on Michelle because being local in Orlando, it's a children's book. And I just saw like so many opportunities to kind of extend using our platform to share this, and I think it's pretty exciting. And being a new author, I thought, why not? Let's help us fellow Orlandoans out, right?
Yes,
So
I love that.
uh, yes,
All
of
about
course,
being local and supporting
of
local. Yes,
definitely.
definitely. Awesome.
Michelle, what was the first? What inspired you to write this children's book? I know that I know you have a child. I apologize. I don't remember how old your child is, but I'm sure that
Sure.
had something to do with it.
Yes. So I have two little kids. I have a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old. And when I initially started this project, my son was 3. So it's been over 2 years in the making. And he would ask me to tell him bedtime stories like most kids do. And frequently he enjoys when I just make things up rather than sometimes reading books. So he had the sprinkle obsession. The kid loves sprinkles. Sprinkles on everything. If he could put them on pizza, he would have done that. So I just made up this magical world one night about sprinkles. And he took to it so much that every night he asked me to keep telling him the story. So, and each night I'd develop it a little more. We'd add more characters. We'd do different things. We'd go different places, things like that. And he really enjoyed it. So I was talking about it at work one day. I was like, man, my kid, he just keeps asking me to tell him the story over, over, and over again. And my friend was like, you should publish that. Like, my daughter loves sprinkles. What kid doesn't like sprinkles? Like, you should publish
Hmm.
that. And I was like, how? Can I do that? And I looked into it, and you can self-publish, and it's been a really interesting and fun journey. And yeah, so my son has definitely been the inspiration for this project, and it's been a passion project. So yeah, I did it for him, and now my daughter too, and now she loves it also.
That now you mentioned characters.
Mm-hmm.
As you told them the stories every night, how did you come about developing these characters? Like, who are these characters, and
Yeah,
what do they do? What is the highlight in the book, that these characters are involved in?
sure. So I wrote it a little bit differently. Like, I want the main character to essentially be the reader. So that basically you're coming into this world and you're going on this journey, and it's more about what you're learning and seeing along the way and what you kind of are encountering. And then each little stop or little detail were things that tie back to things my son loves. So he loved cars and trains, and he loves cheetahs, and there's just different things that tie into things that he really enjoys that I thought might resonate with other kids. Yeah.
So you mentioned he loved cars.
Yes.
We got to bring you out to one of our meetups where we have Nate. Actually, he's a big car guy. He's in the car scene, and there's a lot of cool cars. I mean, if he likes all these cool
Oh, he
modified, bright colored
does.
cars,
Yes.
you
Oh, he'd
gotta
love it
check
then.
it out.
Oh,
Oh
he would
yeah.
be all about that. I mean, he has so many Hot Wheels, and he knows more cars than I do. I mean, he's teaching me stuff about cars. He's really into that. So he would love one of those types of events. I've been meaning to take him to something like that. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Very cool.
If you look behind me, well, I'm kind of in the way. That's my van behind me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Very bright, very different. So I love cars. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. My kids do too. So
Yeah. Very cool.
Now you mentioned you said it was a long process. What
Yes.
was like the most challenging thing about writing it and publishing it? And then like what were some of those challenges? How'd you get over those hurdles?
Oh yeah, but the whole thing, the whole thing was hard. I mean, coming up with the idea and the story was probably the easiest part because I kind
Wow.
of had control over that. But it's really been a steep learning curve. And each time I made 2 steps forward, I realized I had 20 more to go. So first I wrote down the story and then I found an editor and then it's gone through probably 20 revisions, which sounds insane because it's a kid's book and it's
Hmm.
not like a chapter book with, it's short and brief, but it's gone through a lot of revisions
Hmm.
and worked on the rhyme meter. And then I had an illustrator, and it didn't work out with that illustrator. Um, he just stopped working on the book, so I had to find a new illustrator. And I am a firm believer that sometimes things happen for a reason. And so the second person that I ended up working with, I think, really did a better job than the first one. And so I think it was meant to be, honestly, that I had
Yeah.
that little hiccup in the process. But that was the large reason for the delay because I had to start all over with the illustrations, and they can take sometimes 6 months to a year. So starting over from scratch with a new person really kind of set back the timeline overall. And I was a little discouraged, but meeting her and having her get on board and she was so excited about it, it just, I'm so happy and elated with the finished product. Like I really think that things led me to where I needed to be for it to become what it should be. And so that part was awesome. And then figuring out how to get it on Amazon and how to get it in front of people and how to, just shipping and I mean, everything. There's just been so much that's gone into this. And I've spent hours just searching the internet, reading video, like watching videos. And,
Hmm.
there's been so much, but I've learned a tremendous amount and it's really been a fun journey.
Yeah, I'm sure once you had the physical copy, that was like almost just you could just take a breather, like, oh my gosh, finally
Yes.
it's here.
Yes. I
Um,
mean, there were so many moments along the way that I was like, oh, should I really pursue this? Should I just, throw in the towel and give this up? But I'm really glad I pushed through because seeing the joy on kids' faces when they see this book and read this book has just made it all worthwhile. I mean, I
mhm,
did a Kickstarter to help with the production and the printing of the book,
mhm,
and a large reason why I did the Kickstarter was it was really important to me to dedicate, or not dedicate, excuse me, to donate the book to local communities. And I haven't announced this publicly on my social media yet, so I'll let y'all in
mhm.
my secret first.
Oh,
Ronald McDonald House is going to get some copies here in Central Florida, and UCP Orlando is getting copies, and Give Kids the World.
yep.
Yes.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
That's great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So
huge.
yeah, it's and there's still more too. I'm getting in touch with some of the hospitals. I want to donate them to the ICUs. So
Mhm,
it was really important to me to put it out there and get it in the hands of kids, and particularly kids that are going through tough times. Without going too much in details, I had my own health related things that kind of happened in the middle of doing this book, and I threw myself into this book as a distraction from that, and it just really made me feel better. So that was part of the inspiration for why I wanted to donate to kids with health related causes, because it's just such a wonderful escape from reality that you can kind of go to this fantasy world and be a kid and be happy, and it might take away
mhm.
from some of the things that they're dealing with. So it was really important to me to give that back. And they're staying here in the Central Florida area, so I'm really excited about that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Especially the impact, that you're gonna make. I mean, it's a children's book, but children's book, I mean, it starts with our kids, for us to make that impact young and for them to create that imagination and creativity. So I
Yeah.
think that's special to have right here, local in Orlando. Um,
Yeah.
but it can travel the world, so you never know.
You never
Um,
know.
yeah, never know. There was so how do you hope that this will impact kids? So, like, what do you think that they'll resonate with the most, both from kids and the parents' perspective?
Sure. Well, first, just the power of imagination. That if you
Hmm.
dream it, you can do it. You can create whatever you want. That your imagination can take you wherever you want to be. And the book kind of concludes like, I've taken you on this adventure with the story. Now it's your turn. Go make your own sweet dreams. And,
Oh, I love that.
yeah. So that's the number one thing I want to, encourage kids, use your imagination and dream big, dream up whatever you want to dream. And then another thing that was really important to me was that Sprinkletopia is open to everyone, all races, ethnicities, everything
Mhm.
about. I try to have the illustrator draw the kids with different skin tones and things like that, just so that
Oh,
every
nice.
child can see themselves there. So I really wanted to empower inclusivity and make everyone feel welcome in this magical place and show that you can do that for kids. That was really important to me. And then also just kind of what I had touched on before about it being a fun book. I feel like so many books have like a drive it home message, or there's like a big conflict, or there's a bad
Yep.
guy, or there's just, I wanted something that had zero negativity at all. It's just a happy, upbeat, positive kind of thing that you can get lost in this and just have a good, warm feeling when you're done reading it. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, no, it does. I mean, we need more of that, right? Positivity. I mean,
Yeah.
sure, there's challenges and obstacles we all face in life, and you turn on the news, it's a good chance you're going to see something negative. So to have something positive in the palm of your hands, I think is really special, especially with our kids. Our kids are going through so much, going to school and all of that. I mean, Nate
Yeah.
is a school teacher, so sometimes he sees these things firsthand. So to have something out there,
Mm.
all of us, us dads here on the call, we try to be that positive role model for our kids. But sometimes it takes more than that. It takes a community really to help each other out, to really inspire our kids and kind of gear them in the right direction. And sometimes we can't do it all by ourselves. We'd like to, we think we're superhuman, but I mean, at the end of the day, our kids are not with us 24 hours a day. Yeah. So
Great.
there's a time that they go to school and they have to go, whatever it is, and you want to leave something positive with them wherever they go. So if they have access to this, I mean, I can see this being in schools, in elementary schools, or kids are reading them. I mean, and just have that positivity with no conflict. There's no bad guys. It's just,
Yes.
dream big, be creative, and go do something with it. So I think that's such a cool message. I love that, especially how you end the book where you kind of put it back on them, like, all right, now it's your turn. What are
Yeah.
your sweet dreams? Um, I can't wait to read the book. I mean, my daughter's a little bit older, but I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Now, since we're the Orlando Dads Group,
Yes.
we are a bunch of dads, and we try to make the biggest impact in our kids' lives, and just be present and really really matter, and do our part as fathers in their lives. So, as a daughter, um, what kind of impact did or relationship did you have with your dad or father figure, and how has that impacted your life, in your journey called life?
Yes. I am very fortunate. I have one of the best role models and best relationships with my father, and he's been there for me forever. I mean, I can lean on him for anything, and he's incredible. So I'm so lucky to have a father figure that's been there for me through thick and thin, growing up and everything. And he has been so supportive, even just of Sprinkletopia. Every time there's an update, I'd send it to my parents, and he's just been one of my biggest cheerleaders, and he's been so excited about all of this, and it's been really fun to share that with him. And yeah, I'm lucky that I have people that believe in me and have supported me, and told me when I told them about this, said go for it, like do it. We just do it, bring it to
Mhm.
life. And so I'm
Yeah.
really really lucky and fortunate for that. And you know, dads are so important. They help
Mhm.
shape kids, and they are, do the things that the moms can do, like fix the technology to make Zoom work. Like my husband was going to come down here and make
Yeah.
my computer work. I mean, there's so many things that dads do and leave such an impact. And, there's so many wonderful things I could say about my dad. I followed in his footsteps as far as my career, and I owe a lot of who I am today to the values that he's instilled in me. So yeah, dads are everything.
That's pretty special.
Yeah.
And that's something that all of us here hope to accomplish as well. And I think the really cool thing is, sometimes as dads and Nick and Nate, I know we've actually spoke about this in a prior webinar that we had on Zoom is, we want to do a good job, but sometimes we don't know we're doing a good job. So I think it's awesome to have each other, to lean on each other, to support each other, to let each other know like you're doing a good job, and
Sure.
and sometimes things can be hard. Being a parent is tough.
It's
It's not
tough.
easy. It
It's
is,
tough.
yes, very much
Yeah.
so. And
Yeah.
every single kid is different. There's
Right.
no manual. You gotta figure it out. They
Yeah.
they they pop out and that's it. Figure it out. It's be a
Yeah.
parent now. So
That's part
um
of the beauty of it too, I think.
it is. It
You know?
actually is.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, out of all of the things I went through with my daughter, growing up and all the ever-changing things, I think I don't regret any of it. A lot of it I've learned so much. I mean,
Yeah.
so much. So, um, I'm sure the guys in the call now could could agree with me. I know Nate has 4, Nick has 2, so I just got the one. So I'm sure their learning curve is way more advanced than mine is right now.
Yeah, 4 is crazy. I tell
Yeah.
you that. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's full on all the time. That's why I'm so tired right now. Full on all the time. Something's happening. I need you to get me from here to there to
Yeah.
but it's fun, because I'm gonna look up one day and they're gonna be grown and they're gonna appreciate all of that movement and hopefulness that I was there for. So it'll be fine. I'm gonna miss them too though when they're older for sure. So
Yeah.
yeah. I try not to think about that part, but just live in the present, you know what I mean?
It's funny that you say that. I actually was having a conversation with my son tonight about how I'm gonna miss the day that he doesn't need me anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So random that
I think
he's
they'll
he's
always
only
need
5. You know?
I think they'll always need you to a certain capacity of something, but
Yeah.
it'll just be different. Now it's like, hey, can you help me out at random? It won't be
Sure.
the same.
Yeah. That is true. And I totally don't know how I forgot this. A little unrelated, but kind of related. You had asked me about my relationship with my dad, and
Mhm.
there's a recipe in the back of Sprinkletopia to make sprinkle pancakes that I dedicated to my dad.
Oh, that's
Because
great.
Oh,
he used to make pancakes every weekend with us, and I continue that tradition on with my kids now. And so the recipe that we've kind of passed down is in the back of the book, but I added sprinkles to it.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
that is
So
awesome. It's your dad with a little sprinkle of your son, right?
yes,
There you
it's just
go.
all of it put together. And I have the book here.
Oh
To
my
show you
goodness.
guys.
There it is.
Yes.
That is awesome. Yeah, I
Yes.
love I love the animals. That's why I was like, I need to find out about these characters. Who are these characters in the book?
Yes. So it's been a lot of fun. There's just like I'll show you a little bit too.
hmm
These are my kids.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. So but yeah, some of they're just really
Wow.
bright and vibrant kind of.
Very sweet.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That's a great
Exactly.
illustration.
Yeah. So that's just some of it. That happened to be my
Wow.
son's favorite page.
The illustrator did a nice job. That looks
He
really
really
good.
Yeah,
did.
they
Oh
really
my
did a great
gosh.
job.
Yeah, she is super talented and she's also just the coolest person. She is an artist and she travels around Europe in a van and lives the best life. And she'll just post pictures of all these random places she is and how she's illustrating, on the edge of a cliff with a beautiful view. And she's living the dream.
Out of curiosity, what is and to give her flowers, what is the name of the illustrator?
Sandra Atama Welty.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's one. So for any first time authors out there, if you're doing a children's book and need a illustrator, that's who you're gonna
There you
look
go.
up.
Look her up.
Good. She's good.
Yeah.
Yes. She's awesome.
Okay, so we have or I should say you have a big release launch party going on. So tell us about that. What's going on?
Yes. So I am hosting a free family friendly event. It's going to be at the Great Southern Box Food Hall in the College Park Packing District. And I've invited a bunch of local vendors that are kind of geared towards kids to be there, including you guys. Yes. So
Yes.
there's going to be a balloon artist, and there's someone that takes different pieces of clothing from kids and uses them to create stuffed animals. And there's someone that does crochet, and there's one of the local schools is going to be there too. And let me see there. Oh, the Naked Cupcake. Have you guys heard of the Naked Cupcake?
Oh my gosh,
Who
yes.
doesn't love the Naked Cupcake? That's an Orlando staple. I was like, you guys
yeah.
have to come to this. Your sprinkles
Yes.
and cupcakes. Yes. So they're coming. Super pumped for that. Stack
Mhm.
Brownies is also going to be there. They're one of the vendors that's inside the dining hall, and they're awesome. Like some of the best brownie desserts you can get. Yeah, so there. I think I mentioned the balloon twister, and there's going to be ceramics that kids can pick the ceramic that they want, and they can paint it, and then they'll get them glazed. And yeah, I'm gonna have coloring pages and like sidewalk chalk, and I'm gonna bring balls, and there's a great outdoor space, and so the kids can just play and have fun and have music, and just a great time to socialize and get out. And then planning to do probably 2 book readings during the event, and then signing books for anyone that wants to get a signed copy.
That's great.
Wow.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
One
Hoping
of the-
for a good turnout.
I think you're gonna get it. I mean, with all the options, I think you're giving these families to come out. One of the first things that my wife said when I told her, I was like, "Oh, I booked this thing on Saturday. I have to, work an event." And she goes, and I was like, "But it's a family event." She goes, "Oh, I can bring the kids." So she was all excited.
Please. Bring the kids. That's like, yes, they're the star of the show. We want them there. Yes, absolutely. And design it with them in mind. Want it to be in a place where kids would be welcome and they can run around and be kids, and bring the kids.
And this is on November 23rd, right?
Yes, November 23rd from 12 to 5.
12 to 5. All right, that's going to be exciting. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. For one, to meet you in person.
Yes.
And then, I mean, just to see this great turnout, like Nick said, there's a lot of great, delicious, and fun things to do. So, I mean, who wouldn't want to be there? There's a little bit of everything for everybody. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And you'll be selling the books there as well?
Yes.
Okay, great. Awesome. That's going to be fun.
Yeah. I'm really excited for it. And if you haven't been there yet, the food is incredible. They've got all these different vendors inside, so there's so many great options. I mean, I went there for lunch and I couldn't decide. There were too many things I wanted. So come with an appetite.
Will do.
Oh, and there's a bar.
That's
for
the dads can have fun.
I was gonna say for the parents, not for the kids.
For kids.
Yeah.
Not for the kids.
For
No.
parents.
Right.
There might be a
That might bring
cupcake
up-
bar, but not an actual bar.
No.
Yeah, it's on the inside, but yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Hey, that might bring some more dads out. I mean, I'm just
Hey.
saying, I don't know.
Anytime that you can have a good time and your kids can have a good time, it's a win for everybody.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That sure is, for sure.
Exactly.
Yes.
Well, Michelle, thank you for being on the podcast. We truly appreciate it. Again, Michelle Lipton's book is called Sprinkletopia. It is out.
Sprinkletopia.
Thank you. Why do I say sparkle? Sprinkletopia.
Well,
Man,
there is a lot of
colors.
on there.
it
There's
is
some
sparkle, sprinkle. My daughter's gonna eat this up, so she is sparkle, sprinkle, everything. Sprinkletopia is the name of the book.
Yes.
Michelle Lipton. Thank you. The digital copy is out now. The hard copy is going to be released on Tuesday, November 19th. And again, the launch party is at the Great Southern Box on November 23rd in Orlando.
Yes, and I'll mention that they're available on Amazon. That's where they are right now.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yes.
Definitely check it out.
Yes, thank you.
Well, thank you guys so much for the opportunity to talk with you and to share a little bit about this, and for being interested. And I can't wait to meet you in person and some dads from Orlando.
Mhm.
Bring my husband. Maybe he can meet some more dads. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Yes.
We're here. We're here for
Sign
him
him,
when he needs us.
sign him up for the group.
I'm gonna
Let's,
sign
you know.
up.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I love it.
All right. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle.
All right. You guys have a good one.
And that was our conversation with Michelle Lipton, author of the children's book Sprinkletopia. Her hardcover book of Sprinkletopia will be out on November 19th. You may have noticed that I'm by myself for the remainder of this episode. Nate and Floor both have work things to attend while we're finishing up the episode. But to be honest, this is a great example of how life happens and fathers come together to help each other out. This is truly what the Orlando Dads group is all about. We are not longtime friends in this group and have not known each other for years. We are fathers who have just met just because of this group, coming together for a common cause, to be a positive, active role model in our children's lives. I also had the opportunity a couple weeks ago to be able to attend the At-Home Dad Conference, which was in St. Louis. It's put on by one of the longtime sponsors of City Dads and Fathering Together. The nonprofit organization is called the At-Home Dad Network. They have an event every year where they bring at-home dads together to be able to do professional development, but then also be able to get these dads together and be able to have discussions, support groups, whatever the dads really need. And it's a really well thought out and planned event. This is my second event that I've gone to, and some of the highlights that I had from this event were I got to hear from Neil Leitcher, I believe. Hopefully I'm saying that name correctly. He is a speaker from Maryland. What he does is he goes around, mostly about around Maryland, but talks to policemen and teachers about showing people the signs of autism and what it looks like in how it is portrayed. Ultimately, especially for teachers and for policemen, this is very important because, especially for policemen, it allows them to be able to identify if someone who has autism has wandered away, or if it's something where it's a totally different scenario. Some of the things I took away from that were he talked about how the autistic brain works very differently and how it takes about 20 seconds for them to process something that would take another brain 2 seconds. And it's a great thing to remember, especially if you have anyone in your life who's autistic, or it's one of those things where asking a million questions very quickly is not going to help them. One of the other keynote speakers that we had was talking about allyship and how important allyship is in regards to, it's not a badge you wear, but it's a verb and it's a path that we all should go with intention. What we want to do is leave a legacy for our children, not only of tolerance, but also acceptance. I also attended a breakout, which was about starting and maintaining a dad's group. That was actually done by another gentleman who is part of the City Dads organization. He is in Milwaukee. His name's Greg Clapp. He did a great job talking about how you can create a dad's group, and then how to maintain it and how to stay active while doing it. One of the biggest things that I got from that was finding a lot of help and having a couple people run the group. So that breakout was very helpful. Another one I attended was about learning to accept you. This was a very uplifting keynote that really just talked about how we are very negative towards ourselves and how we need to try to challenge the negative thinking. When we have that negative thinking, do we think about, is there any evidence that supports this negative thought, or am I just thinking negatively? The other big thing that I found was about it's a very common phrase to talk about, I'm not good enough, I'm not doing enough, I'm not there enough, I'm not present enough. Whatever the enough statement is, enough is not a measurable unit. We need to be able to speak upon a measurable unit to say, I am only doing 2 hours of something when I should be doing 4. Instead of saying enough. Enough is a very vague statement. We have a jam-packed next 2 months. All the events we've scheduled are from now until the end of the year, and all of them are posted on our Meetup as well as Facebook events. Since we are a family and a kids group, we will take the week of Thanksgiving and December 15th to the end of the year off so we can all spend some much needed time with our family and friends. Life is busy enough. Let's spend it with the ones we love. Well, the first event we have coming up is Orlando Cars and Coffee. That is on November 10th. That is going to be at the Donut Central and Fuel Espresso on Cimarron Boulevard in Winter Park. Our very own Nate Watson, aka Dad Swag, will be there. He'll have a table greeting people, but then also talking about the Orlando Dads group. On Wednesday, November 13th, just a couple days after that, we're doing a Dad's Night Out downtown ghost tours. So this is a ghost tour in downtown Orlando. We will be taking a ghost tour in and around downtown Orlando and stopping at a couple bars along the way. We will be meeting up at 78 West Church Street in downtown Orlando. That's the train station in downtown Orlando, if that helps. And tickets are $35 for the event. That does not include any drinks at any of the bars that we'll be stopping at. The next one is Dads and Me, the ice cream social. That's going to be on Saturday, November 16th. This is one of the first ones that we've done for this. We're going to do it at Kelly's Homemade Ice Cream on Coran Drive in Orlando. It's one of their largest locations, but also one of the centrally located locations. Again, that is on Sunday, November 16th. And it's a dads and kids event. Bring your kids out and we'll have ice cream for lunch. The next Dad's Night Out event is going to be going to the Commission Beer Chamber on Wednesday, November 20th. We've been here, I think this is the second time we've been here. First time was back in April. And when we were there in April, they really rolled out the red carpet for us. They had a whole section for us to be able to sit down. There was a good 10 or 15 of us that were there at that event. So come out again at the Commission Beer Chamber on Wednesday, November 20th. The next event that we have is a joint event with Michelle Lipton, who you just heard from, Sprinkletopia book launch. That's on Saturday, November 23rd. Her book launch is having a huge party at the Great Southern Food Box Company. There's going to be tons of events for kids, all sorts of things for kids and the dads and moms to do. She will be reading her book and also giving her, selling her book and giving autographs for the books if you want to buy one. This should be a really great event. We were lucky enough to be a sponsor for this event, and we will also have a table. So come to the event, enjoy the kids events, but then come and say hi to us as well. Again, Sprinkletopia book launch event on Saturday, November 23rd at the Great Southern Food Box Company. We take a break for Thanksgiving, but we move into December. The next Dad's Night Out event is going to be at Rock Pit Brewing Company. It's one of the trivia nights that they have. In this case, because it is December, we're doing Home Alone trivia. This is on Tuesday, December 3rd. Again, at one of our favorite locations, the Rock Pit Brewing. So come out if you want to show off your Home Alone trivia or just to come and have a drink. Our next event after that is on Wednesday, December 11th. It's our monthly virtual meetup. This is our monthly meetup that we do on Zoom, where we talk about anything a dad has on their mind. We even answer questions that are either proposed in the meeting or proposed when you sign up. When you sign up for the meeting, there is a way that you can propose a question, and you can say if you want it to be anonymous or not. And we've been answering those questions lately, and it's been really helpful not only for the people on the meetup, but also we are recording it because we're going to be using it for future episodes for our podcast. So at the bare minimum, sign up, ask a question. If you can't make it, you will end up seeing some of these questions on another episode of our podcast. But definitely make it, because it's a great way to hear all the knowledge that we have in our dad's group and be able to get some answers maybe to some of the questions that you might be having or you're struggling with. The last event that we have is the Dads and Me Cocoa and Coffee, which is going to be on Saturday, December 14th, and that's going to be at Foxtail Coffee on 2401 Curry Ford Road in Orlando. It's in the Hourglass District. This is another great event we can do in December. Orlando gets cold in the winter, so it's a great way for us to bring the kids out. We can have some coffee, kids can have some cocoa. We can all bundle up in those cold Central Florida winters. We have a ton of events for November and December, and we would love to see you out at an event in the next 2 months. This is the Orlando Dads Podcast, and we appreciate you listening. Thank you for listening to the Orlando Dads Group Podcast. Join us next time as the one, the only, Matt Snyder from the City Dads and Fathering Together is featured in a webinar conversation. We talked to him about the creation of the group and how they created a fatherhood community. Find us on social media, on Facebook and Instagram as Orlando Dads Group, and on X as @OrlandoDads. Our calendar is jam-packed for November and December. We always have new members come out to each event. This time, we would love to get to know you.